figured out what you're doing. When you sit, you put your
Yeah,
chair.
I keep banging the table. I forgot to bring a pen.
You forgot what?
A pen.
Need a pen?
I do. Sweet. Nice. New calendar?
This is my summer home. Winter home. There's the in-law cabin. Covered with a blue tarp.
Of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, be held December 5th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Let's get our clerk to take the roll, please.
Councilmember DeWillis,
Here.
Councilmember Karat,
Present.
Councilmember Palasari,
Here.
Vice Mayor Weldon,
Here.
and Mayor Linsky.
Here.
Thank you.
And Councilwoman Duvernay will be joining us as soon as she's able to, and I'll let the audience know when she's arrived. She'll be by Zoom. Next, please stand to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next on the agenda is a brief summary of current events by the mayor, city council, and/or city manager. The public body does not propose, discuss, deliberate, or take legal action on any matter brought up during the summary unless the specific matter is properly noticed for legal action. Council members, do you have anything to report?
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
I just want to reach out, all the employees, city and staff on the Christmas parade float. I think you guys did an outstanding job. Thank you for the participation, and I can't wait till next year to do it again.
Thank you. Yeah, that was Tammy and her team that put that float together this year, and it was excellent. I think we should have won.
We did. Yeah, we couldn't even bribe the judge.
Yeah, we tried. Councilmember Palasari was a judge for the.
I definitely didn't vote for the city.
Anything else to report, Vice Mayor? No? Okay. Just real quick, I was invited to attend the Verde Valley Caregivers Dinner a couple weeks ago, and it was wonderful, really well attended. Wonderful music, wonderful spread of food. It was great, and Kent Ellsworth and his whole team just do an exceptional job for the Verde Valley, and it was nice to celebrate his accomplishments at that dinner. And then, yeah, the parade was wonderful, as Councilmember DeWillis said. I'm glad he was there to join us, and Scotty, our manager, as well. And then there was the chocolate walk, which was great. I think very well attended, and then the tree lighting. I just want to thank Scotty and your team for getting all that together, and really it was a great event. And then the Mingus High School Choir joined us too. They did caroling up and down Main Street and joined us for the tree lighting to make it really a special event. And then just yesterday we had our legislative session with GAMA. That's the Greater Arizona Mayors Association. I'm the president of that association, and so one of our goals is to get with the legislators in all of our respective districts. GAMA's 5 counties wide at this point in time, mostly northern Arizona counties, but we're getting in front of our legislators, let them know what our concerns are in greater Arizona and how we can work better to get some items across the finish line down at the legislature. So we spoke with Senator Bennett and Representative Bliss, and what I took away from the meeting was they're both very supportive of local control, which was great. That's what we like to hear is, give power to the people locally, and so that's great. And also we spoke specifically about the by right zoning issue that I think we're all concerned about here in Cottonwood and across the Verde, and they don't see that coming back to the legislature this year, so I hope that's true. And I'll leave it to you.
Mayor, nothing new, but I did want to just weigh in on this. Was my first opportunity to participate in the parade. And then also I missed the chocolate walk, unfortunately, but I was there for the tree lighting, and every single event continues to blow me away at just how, how much the community comes out and really celebrates, the events, but also celebrates each other. And I just saw some really great positive interaction on Saturday and this weekend. And so it's just another confirmation. I made a great decision for my family and I to be here, to be part of this really fantastic community. So thank you.
Yep. Great. Okay, let's move on then to call to the public. This portion of the agenda is set aside for the public to address the council regarding an item that is not listed on the agenda for discussion. However, the council cannot engage in discussion regarding any item that is not officially listed on the agenda for discussion and/or action, and comments are limited to a 3-minute time period. So there should be forms in the back. If anyone would like to address the council, now's your opportunity. And I'll cue you up as I've received these. First up is Rachel Collins, and you'll be followed by Eric Jurison.
Thank you. My name is Rachel Collins. For those of you who don't know, in March of 2022, I rented an office at Aspen Mini Storage, which quickly filled up with the black powder from the slag refining operation, which is toxic. And I was denied by ADEQ in the city, my landlords, and Minerals Research that was even happening. So I had to start investigating to find out why I was sick and what was on all of my possessions. In the process, I got acquainted with other people who've been making complaints since 2017. Dorothy Weisenbach, who's now 83 years old and has abandoned her home because she said it was destroyed by slag and blasting. She made many complaints over the years, and now she's incapacitated. And Jay Adams, who I spoke about at the last meeting, he's spoken directly with the city manager and Scott Ellis. He is now in the VA in San Diego. He was admitted on an emergency basis. He has things in his lungs. They're trying to determine what they are. He has full-body severe sepsis and blood poisoning. And they're trying to do heavy metals testing on him now to see if there's anything they can do for him. So I stand here, as always, saying it's very difficult to see people laughing and talking about fun things when people's lives are in jeopardy here. Now, Derek was kind enough to come out and look at Jay's 2,000 square foot mechanic garage a couple weeks ago. He videotaped all the slag dust copiously on and in everything, all the cars, all the equipment, all of his parts in both the garage and his office. And then I had to go to San Diego for some treatment myself. I came back, Derek came back out. We did some testing, not him, but he had witnessed us doing testing of the slag dust, which takes a while to get back from the lab. It'll be the 4th testing that I've had done. And then he asked me if he could charge me privately on the side, and I said yes. And he said, no one cares about your losses. And I guess that pretty much sums up where we are on this, the biggest of all issues here in the city at this moment in time.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to address that, considering that is part of our city code.
You can
I
respond.
never said such words. Never. You misconstrued that. And I thought I was an ally to you and helping you and finding this out. And now I know what to expect. So thank you for showing me your colors.
Okay, Mr. Jurison, you're up next. You'll be followed by Sharon Bonney.
Hello, Council. My name's Eric Jurison. I know most of you are friends, customers, acquaintances. I went to your workshop, and obviously because it was in the newspaper, and I'm here today because of the liquor licenses at Nixon Crema, but I wanted to have a quick conversation over the whole City Hall issue, and we know where I stand on it. I feel like there was a little miscommunication as far as misinformation, like The property was never on MLS, and I would love to talk to some of you more about that, because I think there's better options in that particular building, and maybe better uses for it than a city hall. But with that said, what I'm most concerned about is when we get to the old town and the selling of assets, we'll never get a second chance for open space. You know, where the city hall lies behind our park and where our Boys and Girls Club is and whatever. For the couple or a few $100,000 those buildings might bring in towards a $20, $30 million project, wherever that ends up, we'll never get a chance to have a green, grassy area on Main Street to have events, to have those things we were just talking about, like the parade this weekend, where we could actually leave the street open and have an event and the Old Town open at the same time for business would be fantastic. Because of the opening of Merkin, we knew it was going to be rough, and parking has become rough quick. We knew it was coming, which is a good thing, because when we opened Nick's 20 years ago, you could park anywhere, right? So we're in the right direction, but we really just need to be ahead of it. And so I would like us to, you know, before, as we're starting to think about what's worth keeping, what we're selling, what we're keeping, you know, we sold the one building, but it doesn't appear we kept the whole parking lot if they're allowed to put a patio on it, right? We sold a chunk of that away possibly. I don't understand how that happened, but I think it did. And I'd like to see us not make those same mistakes in the future. And I would happily offer my service and 30 years of doing business down here to be part of any committees or meetings or workshops you have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sharon Bonney, you're up next.
Good evening. Thank you, City Council and City Manager, for the council awareness presentations to the public held the fourth Tuesday of every month, 4 p.m. at the library. Last meeting, the public was educated about housing in Cottonwood. Thank you for keeping the public informed with your data collection about residents' income, different levels of housing options and plans and needs, and also that you respond to the public's input at those council awareness meetings. I wonder if the City Council will respond to the public's request for a definition of the term family-friendly, a term the council allows anyone who rents public space to label their event. Arizona Revised Statute Codes 133551 and 133558 state that it is unlawful to admit persons under the age of 18 to an establishment where sexual acts are simulated and where the genitals, nipples of the female breast areola are exposed. The City Council in August was presented with a video of drag shows labeled family-friendly in other U.S. cities. In those drag shows, our Arizona revised statutes would have been broken. Can the City Council assure the public that they will prohibit the simulation of sexual acts and prevent the showing of genitals, nipples of the female breast and areola in front of persons under the age of 18? Define the term family-friendly and thereby deter future drag event performers from breaking A.R.S. 133551, 133558. I close with a quote by Mr. Fred Rogers. Children need adults who are convinced of the value of childhood. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll close the floor now to the public and move on to approval of the minutes of the regular meetings of July 18th and August 1st, 2023. All motion to approve those minutes?
I'll second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion. Councilmember DeWillis seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, minutes are approved. We're going to move into consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or a citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. So this evening we have 8 items under the consent agenda. I'm going to change things up a little bit. Normally I would read out each item for the benefit of the public, and then we'd make a motion, and then the clerk would also read each item. So it's a bit redundant. We're going to try to streamline things. We're going to first ask the clerk to read each item, and then we'll make our motion.
Item number 1 is a Series 12 restaurant liquor license application submitted by Andrea Renee Peterson, agent for Nick's Steak and Crab House. Item number 2 is Series 12 restaurant liquor license application submitted by Andrea Renee Peterson, agent for Crema Cafe. Item number 3 is resolution number 3216, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, authorizing the city manager to execute a one-year extension of the professional services agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated, a North Carolina corporation, in an amount not to exceed $30,000. Item number 4 is resolution number 3221, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, approving the independent project order number 2, scope of work and cost proposal for the airport segmented circle and primary windsock relocation from Dibble and Associates Consulting Engineers Incorporated, an Arizona corporation, in an amount not to exceed $138,487. Item number 5 is resolution number 3225, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, authorizing a cooperative use purchasing agreement for the purchase of water and wastewater equipment from Phoenix Pumps Incorporated, an Arizona corporation, in an amount not to exceed $223,040.43. $223,040.43.
Okay.
I just got something different on my notes, sorry.
Oh. Item number 6 is 3230. A resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, approving the independent project order number 4, scope of work and cost proposal for the airport runway 14-32, guidance signage upgrades from Dibble and Associates Consulting Engineers Incorporated, an Arizona corporation, in an amount not to exceed $102,857. Item number 7 is resolution number 3231, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, approving the independent project order number 3, scope of work and cost proposal for the airport runway 1432, precision approach path indicators and runway end identifier lights upgrades from Dibble and Associates Consulting Engineers Incorporated, an Arizona corporation, in an amount not to exceed $64,449. And item number 8 is resolution number 3229, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Yavapai County, Arizona, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Yavapai County Flood Control District for fiscal year 2023-2024, financial contribution to the city for flood control improvements.
Okay. Is there an item from the consent agenda that a member of the public or council member would like to have pulled for discussion?
I just have something, my agenda, hard copy shows something different in cents versus the online agenda.
On item 5?
Yeah, and online it has 43 cents. On the written, it's got 25 cents. That's the difference. So,
Right, so the clerk read the actual correct number that's on the resolution. There's a typo on the agenda.
okay.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
All right, then I'll go ahead and motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion. I believe Councilmember Karat seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, consent agenda is approved. Okay, new business. The following items are for council discussion, consideration, and possible legal action. First up is resolution number 3224, request for approval of the Vineyards at Cottonwood Phase 3 Major Plat Amendment.
Thank you, Mayor Linsky. Council, I'm Tina Hayden with Community Development. I am bringing a request for a major plat amendment for Vineyards at Cottonwood Phase 3. Here's a brief timeline. In June 21st of 2022, Council approved the final plat. On October 12th of 2022, the final plat was recorded. And then today, December 5th, 2023, the applicant requests major plat amendment review by City Council. Here is a vicinity map of the area. The plat area in question is highlighted in red. To the left is east is 89A. And then we have Grisetta Ranch Road running along the plat area. Typically, when a plat amendment is proposed, staff has to evaluate if it's going to be a minor or major plat amendment. Due to the addition of easements and the addition of a new tract, staff determined that this exceeded administrative approval and it had to go to council in the form of a major plat amendment. The applicant does propose to add a 20-foot sewer easement to affect lots 77 through 82, to add a tract L, which will contain hammerhead turnarounds, as they are being removed from the existing rights-of-way of Meritage, Pinot, and Magnum Lanes. Applicant proposes lot area increase to lots 79, 80, 85, 86, and 91 due to the hammerhead turnarounds being removed. And they are also proposing modifications to existing tract I. This is the current recorded final plat. The affected lots are highlighted in red. This is where the proposed sewer easement will go. This is where the new tract L will be added. And this is currently where the hammerhead turnarounds are. And then up on the right there is tract I, which will be modified. This is the amended final plat that's being put forward to you guys tonight. Again, all the affected lots, the existing sewer easement, the new tract L, and this is where the hammerhead turnarounds will be, or proposed to be, per the grading and drainage plan submitted to the city engineer. And lastly, tract I was a very minor change. The existing well on site was, I think, a couple inches off of the tract, so it's just a change to reflect those existing conditions. Before I read the staff recommended stipulations into the record, I did want to address stipulation number 3. The city engineer did let me know that the applicant provided a revised drainage plan that addresses the concerns. This stipulation would not hinder the applicant, so it could be left as is, or you could change the motion to remove this stipulation. I will read these into the record now. Stipulation 1, recordation of the amended final plat shall occur within 6 months of this approval granted by the City Council. Stipulation number 2, the proposed revisions shall conform to the code review comment letter dated October 5th, 2023, in Re CRB-23-048. And stipulation 3, the applicant shall provide a revised drainage plan that fully addresses the wash concerns due to the relocation of the hammerhead drives prior to receipt of the city engineer's signature on the amended final plat. That concludes my presentation. I am prepared for any questions you may have, and I have the applicant's representative here for any questions you may have for them.
Okay. Council, do we have any questions for Ms. Hayden?
Not necessarily for Ms. Hayden, possibly for fire.
I think you can ask that of
Okay.
Ms. Hayden.
So on the hammerhead turnarounds, do they actually work, or is it like in theory it'll work for turning around like a fire truck or whatever they need to turn around?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Karat, I think that would be best answered by fire.
Okay. Do we have our chief here? Oh, great. I didn't see it. Okay.
Good evening, members of council. Yes, as this has been reviewed by the fire marshal and other staff members, this will meet the criteria that we do need to address.
Okay.
So the truck can make that turn? The truck can make that turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Chief Sutton. All right, well, that was my question as well, just to make sure the staff had all departments are happy and pleased with this. So if we would like, let's bring the applicant up, if you don't mind. Good evening.
Good evening. Krishan Ginige, SCC, Design Engineer and the agents. Well, I did not come prepared for a presentation, but if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I don't think we have any questions. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to speak to the plat amendment, and everything looks good to you as far as you're concerned?
Yes, I think it's a better product than what we had before. Because of the evolving of the project and working with two different entities, we were able to find a better solution. So I think all in all, this would definitely benefit from the utility standpoint, as well as fire and circulation standpoint, as well as lots. So
Yep.
I definitely think it's a better.
Great. All right, thank you, Mr. Ginige. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We are excited to see that road finally completed, too. I'll just throw that in there. All right, if there's nothing else from council, I think we're ready for a motion.
Okay, I move to approve resolution number 3225, authorizing the cooperative use agreement for the, whoa, is that right? Wrong one. I was way back at, okay, sorry, somebody else go for it.
I move to approve resolution number 3224, approving the vineyards at Cottonwood Phase 3 major plot amendment, subject to the stipulations that staff has read into the record.
I'll second that. So we have Councilmember Karat that made the motion, and Mayor seconded it. And let's get a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember DeWillis?
Yes.
Councilmember Karat?
Yes?
Councilmember Palisari?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilden?
Yes.
And Mayor
Yes.
Linsky?
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Great. Let's have you read that resolution 3224 by title only, please.
Resolution number 3224, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, approving a major plat amendment for the Vineyards at Cottonwood Phase 3 subdivision.
Okay, thank you. Next up is a hearing and recommendation to Arizona Department of Revenue regarding application for a bingo license submitted by Todd Baker, authorized signatory for Granite on the Greens LLC, located at 969 West on the Greens Boulevard.
Okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready, yeah.
Council, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Vice Mayor. Tammy Mays, your city clerk. I'm here to present bingo license applications that were submitted to me by On the Greens and Pine Shadows. So there is, in order to get a bingo license in Arizona, in order to play bingo, you have to get a license. The licensing authority is the Department of Revenue, and it's governed by A.R.S. 5404. Each applicant has to submit the license to the governing body, which is yourselves, and a hearing has to be set within 45 days, and that's what we're doing today. We can have the public hearing if anybody wants to talk about it. I've also brought the applicant with me to answer any questions. In order to have an application, a bingo license application, you have to meet certain criteria. You have to include your name, your telephone number, and address on the application. You have to have sufficient facts to enable the licensing authority, Arizona Department of Revenue, to determine whether or not that applicant is qualified. If they are qualified, they have to provide the names and addresses of all the officers of the organization, the place where the games will be held, the day and time of the bingo games, the items of expense intended to be incurred or paid, along with the purpose of the expense, the specific projected use of the net proceeds, and such other information is deemed advisable by the licensing authority. I did review these licenses, and all of the requirements have been met, so now it will be up to you. As I said, the applications came from Granite Pine Shadows LLC. Todd Baker was the authorized signatory for Pine Shadows Golf Course, located at 2050 West State Route 89A. It's also On the Greens LLC, same authorized signatory for the On the Greens Manufactured Home Park, and that's located at 969 West On the Greens Boulevard. They plan on having weekly bingo games at each of those locations. They have paid their fees for the bingo license, and they do have business fees, and they're all paid up. The staff is recommending, all the requirements have been met. The business license fees are current, and we are recommending approval of both bingo licenses. This is Ms. Sorelli Black, and she is representing the applicant. So if you have any questions, she's here to answer any.
Okay, first, any questions for staff? I just have one. So we have two different hearings. Are we taking these
Right.
one at a time?
Sure.
Okay. All right, and then Ms. Sorelli Black, would you like to just make a brief presentation if you have anything to add?
I don't have a presentation ready, but
Okay.
I'll answer any questions.
Okay. Do we
It's
have-
just resident bingo.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's not open to the public, it's just,
It is not. It is just for our residents only.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. It's a public hearing, so if there's anybody in the audience that would like to comment on this item, you're more than welcome. By show of hand, we can get you up here. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the floor to the public and entertain a motion.
Okay, I'm ready. I move to recommend that the Arizona Department of Revenue issue bingo license to Granite on the Greens LLC to hold weekly games of bingo at On the Greens Manufactured Homes Park located at 969 West On the Greens Boulevard.
Second.
Okay, Vice Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Karat seconded it. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember DeWillis,
Yes.
Councilmember Karat,
Yes.
Councilmember Palasari,
yes.
Vice Mayor Wilden,
Yes.
and Mayor Linsky,
Yes.
and the motion passes.
Okay, great. And then next is a hearing and recommendation to Arizona Department of Revenue regarding application for a bingo license submitted by Todd Baker, authorized signatory for Granite Pine Shadows LLC. And I think it's the same thing. We've already received the presentation. If
Yes.
there's anybody who really wants to comment on this one, you're more than welcome to raise your hand. We'll get you up here. Seeing none, we'll close the floor and entertain a motion.
I move to recommend that the Arizona Department of Revenue issue a bingo license to Granite Pine Shadows LLC to hold weekly games of bingo at Pine Shadows Golf Course Clubhouse located at 2050 West State Route 89A.
Second.
Okay, Councilmember DeWillis made the motion. Vice Mayor seconded it. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember DeWillis,
Yes.
Councilmember Karat, Councilmember Palasari,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilden,
Yes.
and Mayor Linsky,
Yes.
and the motion carries.
Okay, great. Next is ordinance number 739, declaring that document entitled 2023 Code Amendments Floodplain Management to be a public record, amending Title 18 Zoning and Land Use by amending Chapter 18.08 Floodplain Management, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for penalties. This is the first reading and public hearing.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name's James Bramble. I'm your city engineer. Tonight, I bring to you Ordinance 739, Floodplain Management, 2023 Code Amendments. This is a first reading. Title 18 of the Municipal Code governs zoning and land use. Chapter 1808, Floodplain Management, governs specifically floodplain management of Title 18. This chapter sets the standards for development, redevelopment, and encroachments on properties located within adopted FEMA special flood hazard areas, floodplains, within the city and enforcement of violations. It is intended to protect life and property through planning, engineering, and construction practices, mainly elevation and floodplain, aside from just staying out of it. This required update was triggered by technically annexing the Spring Creek area. There was a flood study underway for Oak Creek and its tributaries, which goes into effect by FEMA on February 8th of 2024. For Cottonwood residents to remain eligible for discounted flood insurance in the National Flood Insurance Program, the city has to adopt floodplain management regulations that meet or exceed the Arizona State Model Ordinance by that adoption date of February 8th, 2024. The Arizona Department of Water Resources provides a draft or model ordinance for local agencies such as ours that takes into account recent changes in laws and other state statutes. The proposed updates are mainly a few definitions. There's a lot of format and capitalization of city council terms like that. And any references to superseded or rescinded statutes are corrected or removed. Our model, or our proposed code amendments closely mirrors or aligns with the state model ordinance, but it's really tailored to fit our government structure. And it has been reviewed by City of Cottonwood Legal as well as ADWR. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Questions for Mr. Bramble? Okay. Will this have any effective change on anything that's already developed in the city of Cottonwood?
In large, it's business as usual.
Okay.
The amendments are minor
Okay.
for our day-to-day operations.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, then I think we can go ahead and entertain a motion. Well, this is a first reading, so
First
we'll
reading.
just have our clerk read ordinance number 739. We'll bring it back for a final vote from council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 739, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, declaring that document entitled 2023 Code Amendments, Floodplain Management to be a public record, amending Title 18 Zoning and Land Use by amending Chapter 18.08 Floodplain Management, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, and providing for severability and providing for penalties.
Okay, thank you. Okay, last under new business is item 5, interview of Historic Preservation Commission applicants.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am Amanda Wilbur, the HR Director here with the city. And I'm here tonight to present to you our Historic Preservation Commission appointment process. So first, I wanted to just give you a little bit of information about our Historic Preservation Commission. So they do a wide variety of things for us, all in relation to historic preservation work. So they actually keep our historic properties inventory. They help with designating historic landmarks. They do the historic property tour when we do those things. So there's a variety of things that this commission actually does. This commission has 7 members. 5 of the members must be residents of the incorporated city of Cottonwood, and the other 2 members may be non-residents as long as they have a tie to the city. This is a working commission. As I mentioned, they do have several projects that they work on. So this is definitely one of our more active boards and commissions that we have here with the city, and they meet monthly. Usually it's the 4th Wednesday of each month. We currently have 3 openings. One is for a full term because that last term expired, and then the other 2 are for partial terms. One expires June of 25, and the other is in June of 26. You can see by this chart, we currently have 4 members that are actively serving. 3 of them are residents of the city of Cottonwood, and 1 is not, meaning that after this process, we can appoint 2 residents and 1 non-resident. I know in our council communication form, I just read through it this evening, and it says we've only done 2 advertisements for this, but we actually have done 4. So I apologize for that mistake on my end. We first posted for this in April. We posted again in June and August and October. So we have finally received 3 applications for the 3 seats we have available. Because we have 3 applicants for 3 available seats, we did not do the blind review process. The next step in the process here tonight is our council interviews, And then at the conclusion of the interviews, we will be making recommendations for appointment at a future council meeting, which is currently set for January. Every time we have an opening, we do some outreach. So the first 2 recruitments, we emailed the opportunity to all of our staff. We have a public service announcement that we release, and then we post to our city website. And that is pretty standard for all of our volunteer opportunities. More recently, however, we have added a couple items to our list. So our marketing team has created specific social media graphics that we release on our social media outlets, which is primarily Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And then our marketing team has also been doing news flashes on our city website as well. So we've increased that over the past few recruitments. This is just a variety of different postings that we have, so you kind of have an idea of what really gets out there to the public when we're searching for volunteers. And then tonight, we are here to actually interview the 3 applicants. So the 3 applicants are listed here in front of you. We have Josh Edwards. I might mispronounce his name, I'm sorry. Jamin, sorry, you even told me. Jamin Metcalf and Patricia Monell. So 2 of those are residents of the city and 1 is not. However, if council would like, when we bring the recommendations back in the future, they all meet the criteria to serve in this capacity. So unless council has any other questions for me, we should be ready for interviews.
Okay, great. So just to be clear, I know you said it twice, but we're going to interview this evening, make a decision, and appoint sometime in January?
Correct.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question. Who determines whether they're full term or the partial term?
Generally, we look at the scores from the entire process. So sometimes that has the blind review scores added in. Sometimes it's just what the council scores in their interview. But the top scorer typically would fill the full term. In this case, we would also take into account the residency, because I believe one of the partial terms is the term available for the non-resident.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Sure.
I just wanted to call out and thank staff for their increased advertising and making sure that we're messaging out these opportunities. I'm really glad to know that we have 3, at least the 3 applicants for the 3 positions. We've really been trying to up our game with trying to advertise and get the word out for these opportunities. And so you'll continue to see things like that. And as you saw on one of the slides here, being pretty creative and creating graphics such as QR codes and just to make it as easy as possible. So I just want to give Amanda and our team and the other folks that are involved with this some kudos. So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. It does appear to be working as we're getting more applicants than I think we have in the past, so that's very exciting.
Yes.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's interview our candidates. I'm excited about this. This commission is near and dear to me. It's a commission that I started a lot of years ago and was the chair for a while, and really got this commission going. So they do great work, and I'm excited to interview these candidates. So let's start alphabetically with Josh Edwards. If you wouldn't mind coming up, sir. We've got 3 very simple questions for you. And we've read your resume and appreciate your application.
Right.
So, welcome. Please tell us why you wish to serve on the Historic Preservation Commission.
I'm excited to be a part of the community. I just moved here a few months ago and like historic preservation. I'm a history buff and glad to meet other people that are involved in it.
Great. Welcome to Cottonwood.
Thanks.
Came down to warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, second question is, what are your specific qualifications for this commission?
I've been an archaeologist for 3 decades. I own a small environmental consulting firm and perform historic preservation on a professional level. I was on the Flagstaff Heritage Preservation Commission for a couple years. Currently, I'm working on 2 historic preservation projects. One is a National Register nomination that I'm helping them get determination from SHPO and get state funding, and then also get on the federal funding. The other one is for, that one is for a small house that's being demolished that I'm going to write the history of it and capture that history as the community is losing that cultural value. And that's part of their system in Flagstaff to mitigate that loss to the community.
I see. Okay. And then last question is, what do you hope to accomplish during your appointment?
I'd love to bring whatever skills I have to the commission and my experience, bring that to bear for the community.
Okay, short and sweet. Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay, next is Miss Metcalf, Jamin Metcalf. Mr. Holy heck, I'm sorry. Did I screw that up? I sure did. I'm really sorry.
That's okay.
I was looking at you thinking, I've never met you before, so my deepest condolences.
That's
all right. Shaking that off. 3 questions. You got the sneak peek already to the questions, but first up is, please tell us why you wish to serve on the Historic Preservation Commission.
Well, as G.K. Chesterton said, any man who is cut off from the past is a man most unjustly disinherited. I'm an educator and an author. Been working in history for 7 years now, and I believe that here in Cottonwood, it's important that we preserve the past that we all share, that we pass it on to our children. I also just moved to Cottonwood a few months ago. However, I grew up here as well. So I love this town, happy to be back finally, and want to help in that way.
Must look quite a bit different from when you were last year.
It does, very different.
Great. Okay, second question is, what are your specific qualifications for this commission?
I have a degree in history. I was a history teacher for 6 years, and then was a dean of students for 2. So I've been in education for quite a while. I'm also an author. I just published my first book this year on history, philosophy of history. So all of this work has led me to have a deep appreciation for Arizona history and American history. That's what I taught at the high school where I was at in Scottsdale and Chandler, Arizona. So,
great. And then third is, what do you hope to accomplish during your appointment?
I'd really like to focus on the parts of the commission that not only seek to preserve historic sites, but seek to promote and to build educational programs for students here in the Valley. I think that's probably the portion that I would be the most apt to contribute to. And yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much for your application. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Patricia, is it Monell? Monell, okay, great. Thank you as well for your application. Thanks for being here this evening.
Thank you. I guess I wasn't prepared for...
That's okay. I'll ask the questions for you and just take your time. There's no rush at all. We're just
Okay.
looking to get to know you a little bit better. Okay. So first up is, please tell us why you wish to serve on the Historic Preservation Commission.
Oh, I guess growing up outside of a big city of Chicago, I've always been fascinated with the history. There's been so much, and following up on it, going to the city and, really just studying everything about it. And subsequently, since then, going to other cities, other communities. And I was really taken when I first came down to Cottonwood and just seeing the downtown area, the buildings. I'm one of those people that unfortunately like to touch, where you touch the cement, you touch the building, you like to see and hear the history that's behind it. And it just grabbed me. And, I was able to, talk my son into coming down and looking around, and we just both fell in love with it. And I was speaking with a lady on Sunday. I'd met her up in Jerome. She had a little shop up there, and she was telling me she had been here for like 22 years. And apparently 22 years ago, she said it was actually frightening to go to the downtown area, into Old Town. She, would be nervous. She'd be going to one of her son's high school, activities, and she would go as fast as possible through the city. She said it was dark, it was boarded up. She said, and it was sad. It was really, really sad. Now, I never experienced that because when we, moved here 18 months ago, there would just seem to be such a life down in the city. My grandson and I went down to the, walk on Main and everything, and it was just amazing, the people that were down there that were just so glad to be in the city of Cottonwood and watching everything that was going on, and the storefronts that are full, that are active, and people going in and out. I'm sorry, that was probably too long.
No, that's great. No, thank you. You're making me fall in love with my community again. Thank you. So a second question is, what are your specific qualifications for this commission?
Well, I'll tell you, between Josh and Jaman, they're awesome. I mean, their qualifications. My qualification is, prior to moving here, when we were living in Henderson, Nevada, we were very involved in the community with the Kiwanis. And we did fundraisers. We got out there and we cooked meals, did raffles, and then all the funds went back into the community. So, the other two applicants have fantastic. I'm more of the working ant. I can, be tireless, get the community going, have people come out, show them the history of Cottonwood and just what is possible, what it had been, what the history is, and what it's going to be. And, just kind of going through some of your agendas online, I was looking at everything, and it just seems like the whole commission is geared towards, building a character for Cottonwood, not so much just the wineries or, just a whole combination of everything. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of working with everybody to make everybody aware of what's available in Cottonwood, and also concerned about, it isn't just the, Old Town area as much as it is the living area. What can we do to improve, our area that we are all living in?
Excellent. And then the last question is, what do you hope to accomplish during your appointment?
Improving it, preserving it, keeping it, so that when other people come, because, I sit there and watch the faces of, when the tourists are coming, and my son works for Pink Jeep in Sedona, and he'll tell me, oh yeah, these couples just came from North Dakota and Wisconsin, and they're coming down here to Cottonwood also and visiting and everything, is to show them what we have, to be able to keep having it grow, but still have that hometown feeling. Because so many of the people that we notice that come in, tourists and stuff, our hometown people, and makes them feel comfortable and possibly, go home and tell other people how great it was to go to Cottonwood.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you very much again for applying, for coming here tonight to be interviewed by us, and really appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And a lot of these, I'm couldn't be more pleased with the caliber of applicants. The resumes, we've reviewed them, they're exceptional. Again, like I said, this is a near and dear to my heart commission, but I can see a lot of benefit from each and every one of these applicants. One of the programs is a historic home and building tour, which which we started years ago, and it proceeds from that fund a small grants program for the city of Cottonwood for homeowners or business owners that want to improve their property. So again, I think the combination of all your talent could really make that a much stronger program. So really pleased to see the caliber that we've got here this evening. Can't make an appointment tonight, so we're going to wait until January, so stay tuned. But thanks again for taking the time. Okay. All right, I think next is the monthly financial report from August 2023. Ms. Lennon's here if we have any questions. I do not have any questions.
No.
Okay, good work. As always, good work. I'll motion to pay the claims and adjustments.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Karat seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion, DeWillis seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned. Thank you, council. Yeah, yes, sir. Thanks.
Gosh, that was